nicely, milli. When I say milli, you just rub your hands. When I say pati, you clap your hands once. Okay? Milli, milli. Pati, when I say pati, you clap your hands once. Okay, you guys are ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Milli. Pati. Okay, when I say lua pati, you clap twice. Okay. Milli. Pati. Lua pati. Lua pati. Okay, now this is the fun part. When I say buffalo, you look at your loved one and say moo. Okay, you guys ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Milli. Pati. Lua pati. Buffalo. Buffalo.
Moo.
Alright, good one, guys. Alright, guys, thank you so much for joining us today. Welcome to the Polynesian Culture Center canoe voyage. Now, family, this voyage is gonna be for the next 15 minutes, Polynesian time, 3 weeks. Okay, I hope you guys are not hungry. Is anyone hungry?
No.
Okay, we have a lot of fish on the water. Okay. All right, now families, how many of us visiting the Polynesian Culture Center for the first time today? All right, anyone visiting back? All right, welcome guys. Welcome to the Polynesian Culture Center canoe voyage. Now family, let me introduce one important person on the canoe. We call that person as the main engine. Okay, so everyone look at my friend Ajay in the back and say aloha.
Aloha.
All right, now family, do you guys know the Lamborghini, a car? That's him right here. Okay, he's the fastest engine that we have. So if you want the canoe to go fast, just look up my friend and say vroom vroom. All right, now family, a quick introduction to myself. I'm called as Captain Dalan. I'm from the beautiful islands of India. Okay, just in case you didn't know, India's not an island. That was a joke, guys. That was a joke. You guys should laugh. Good. All right, now family, me and Ajay, we're students here. We study in the neighboring university. Now we both major in different subjects, but we minored in canoe pushing for you guys today. Okay. So family, as the captains today, we'll be taking you into the islands of Polynesia. We'll be showing you traditional Polynesian islands, traditional Polynesian canoes, and we'll be learning a lot about voyaging as well. Now family, just some safety instructions for all of us to follow. Please keep your hands and legs inside the canoe at all times. We just went under the low-hanging bridge. There are many other low-hanging bridges, so please do not stand unless you're asked to. Are we all fine with that?
Yep.
Yes.
All right, how many of us here know how to swim? Okay, that's good. For those of you who don't know how to swim, good luck. Just kidding. For those of you who don't know how to swim, look underneath your seats. Oh, there's nothing there, yeah?
No.
Oh, you guys are not laughing. You guys having a bad day?
No.
Oh, first rule on my canoe, you guys should laugh. Second rule on my canoe, follow the first rule. Okay, are we gonna laugh?
Yes.
Okay, if not, we're gonna jump in. Okay. All right, now family, like I said, as a captain today, I'll be showing you different Polynesian islands. Now, Poly means many and Nesia means islands. Polynesia means many islands. Polynesia is home to more than thousands of islands. And how were all these Polynesian islands found? It is through the canoes. Now, the canoe that we're traveling in is a replica of a very big and an active voyaging canoe, which I will be showing you at the end of our voyage. Now, canoes in Polynesia play a very important role, but because these were the vessels or the instruments that were used to find most of the Polynesian islands. Now, you see this island right here? This is the islands of Aotearoa. Can you try saying Aotearoa?
Aotearoa.
All right, Aotearoa, the ancient name for New Zealand is Aotearoa. Aotearoa means the land of the long white cloud. So this island Aotearoa was found by a special wayfinding technique. Now, wayfinding is nothing but using the nature around us to navigate our way through ocean and find land. Okay, back in the days, we did not have any cell phones or internet or maps or even compass to navigate our way through oceans. So what our ancient navigators did was they used the nature. Now, how many of us have seen the movie Moana? Now, what does Moana do when she wants to find her way through the ocean? What does she do? She looks at the stars, she puts her hand like this, yeah? So this is how you see the constellations, okay? This is how they see actually the constellations. So Moana uses her hand. This island was also found in a very similar pattern, but we did not use the stars, but we used the clouds. Okay, a Tahitian voyager called Coupe used the clouds to navigate this island and find this island. Okay, now everyone look towards the sky. Okay, if you see over there, we have very less clouds, and on this side, we have a lot of clouds. This is because on this side, we have the big blue ocean, and on this side, we have the mountains. Okay, now as a voyager or as a navigator, as you voyage on the Pacific Ocean, always look for clouds, because where there are more clouds, there is a high possibilities that there is land. Why? Because we have a lot of mountains. Now when the clouds move towards the land, the mountains hold the clouds and keeps them strong. Okay, they make them stand there for a long time. And that is how Coupe found the islands of Aotearoa. Once he found it through the clouds, he named it after the clouds.
And he was Tahitian?
Yes, he was a Tahitian voyager. Alright, now family, you see this island right here? This is the islands of Fiji. Okay, now here in the islands of Fiji, we greet by saying Bula Vinaka. Can you say Bula Vinaka?
Bula Binaka.
Alright, good. Someone in my last tour said Boom Shakalaka. Okay, now family, Bula Vinaka means good health and good life. So when someone greets us with Bula Vinaka, it means they're wishing us with good health and good life. Now how many of you here likes tattoos? Tattoos, you guys like tattoos? Okay. Now how many of you have seen Dwayne The Rock Johnson or Jason Momoa
Huh?
in movies?
Yeah.
You guys know them?
Yeah.
You see they have these traditional Polynesian tattoos all over their body.
Oh, yeah.
Now traditional Polynesian tattoos were not done with needles, but they were done with bones. Okay, they take around 11 to 12 days to do them, and they have to sit a minimum of 6 hours every day to get those tattoos done. Now tattoos here in Polynesia represents power and respect. Okay, every island here in Polynesia has their own style of tattoos, but here in Polynesia, the tattooing culture first started in the islands of Fiji. Now how it flourished into all the other Polynesian islands is because of the canoes. Now two ladies took their rings, okay, and their bones, and they voyaged with canoes to different Polynesian islands. And from there on, all the Polynesian islands started to have their own tattooing way and their tattooing culture. Now for example, the people in Aotearoa or New Zealand, they have tattoos on their face, near the mouths. The people in Samoa, the chief's tattoo starts all the way from the belly button, it goes towards the back and ends near the knees. So these tattoos carry power, and so they also carry respect and culture. Now you see most of these plants here, these plants are not native to the islands here in Pacific. These plants were actually brought in from East Asian islands to the islands of Hawaii or Pacific through the canoes. So researchers and people who voyage call these plants as the canoe plants because they were brought in from the other islands to the islands here through the canoes. Alright, families, do you guys have any questions up until now? Any questions?
No.
No questions? Okay, let's just keep it that way. Alright, now family, everyone look towards your right. Do you see a tree or a plant that looks in the shape of a fan?
Yep.
Okay, that is a very special one because this plant can store water when it rains. Now the specialty about this one, it can store around 2 gallons of water when it rains. So when a voyager wants to find water, when he wants to find land, or if he wants to know if this land is good for growing crops or minerals or anything, he just needs to look at the tree and he'll be able to find out that the soil is really good and there is water in this land. And these trees that you see here are also very special ones. These ones are called as wild hibiscus. Okay, the main purpose of this plant is to make fire. Now how many of us here know how to make fire just by using wooden sticks? Okay, so if you want to learn that, you have the opportunity of learning that today here at the center. Visit the islands of Samoa and they can teach you how to make fire. An additional purpose that this tree serves is for us to help us push canoes. You see our engine back there pushing a canoe? That stick is also from the tree that we
Mira, ya
saw
enseñan a
here,
bailar, doña Lidia.
a very strong and a sturdy tree. Now family, this is the other part of the islands of Fiji. Okay, every island here has a show at the hour. So if you want to learn about the culture more deeply and you want to see how they represent their culture, visit all the islands right at the hour and they have a show for you. But for now, you take a good look at this hut right here. This one is called as the Gurre Kalo, or the Fijian temple. And the significance of this hut is the roof. Now here in the islands of Fiji, you see most of the huts are pointed towards the sky. And this one especially is touching towards the sky. Now this is because here in the islands of Fiji, they believe that the more closer the roofs are to the sky, the more closer they are to God. Now sacrificing was a big part of their culture back in the days. So this was used like an altar. Okay, so 3 people went in and only 2 came out. Okay. Don't worry, we stopped that practice last week. Right, now family, on these 2 islands, this is the island of Tahiti and this is the islands of Hawaii. Okay, let me tell you one thing that is really similar between both of these islands. Most of the culture and tradition between both of these islands are similar because Tahitians were the ones who voyaged on the Pacific Ocean, found the islands of Hawaii and named it Hawaii. Now Tahitians also used the wayfinding. Now what wayfinding they used? They used the birds to navigate the islands of Hawaii. Now they saw birds flying in a similar direction, the same direction every day. They were really curious about what was happening there. They just took their canoes, followed the birds, they found the islands of Hawaii. Now family, as you visit different Polynesian islands today here at the center, try finding similarities within the islands because here we believe that they all are connected and related to each other. Now please do know that every island and every show and every costume and every dance that you see here at the center carries a story and carries some mana in it. Now, anyone knows the meaning of the word mana here? Mana means power. Okay. So even the canoe ride that you're going in carries a special mana that you feel. Now family, let me show you a fascinating sight here. One of my favorite ones. You see that big hut right there? Right under that hut, you will see an active voyaging canoe. Now family, this canoe is called as the Yosepa. In English, translated means Joseph. This is a 57-foot active voyaging canoe that we have here at the center. Now this canoe leaves to the islands of Maui in the next 26 days. Now one of my friends who works with me actually goes on this one. Okay, so he's actually taken classes for it. He's learned voyaging, he learned how to tie knots. He also knows how to navigate. So he's going to go on the Yosepa to the islands of Maui for the next 3 weeks. Alright, now family, we're going to land. Now the baby on the back, can we have your hands?
Okay.
Alright.